and beloved students. The capacity to learn is a gift. The ability to learn is a skill. The willingness to learn is a choice. With this, I would like to welcome you all to the 5th Sundarlal Bahuguna Memorial Oration on Conservation of Bee Diversity for Floral Diversity under the aegis of the Center of Excellence in Sustainable Development, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Indore. No endeavor finds its purpose without divine grace. To sanctify this morning with wisdom and light, may I now request the technical team to virtually illuminate the lamp of knowledge and invoke the blessings of Goddess Saraswati through the soulful rendition of Saraswati Vandana.
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः या कुन्देन्दुतुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्करप्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा.
Thank you, team. With scholarly grace and the fragrance of shared knowledge, we extend welcome to our chief guest. And for this, I now invite Sri Purushottam Dasji Pasari, Honorable Chancellor, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, and Dr. Upinder Dhar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, for welcoming florally in virtual mode our Honorable Chief Guest, Padma Shri Professor R.C. Sihag, beekeeping and pollination scientist and former Dean, Haryana Agricultural University. Thank you. Dear audience, today we bow our heads in reverence to a towering figure of environmental consciousness and Chipko movement leader Padma Vibhushan Sri Sundarlalji Bahuguna, a man whose life was a living embodiment of the phrase, ecology is permanent economy. From the lush forests of Uttarakhand to the hearts of millions across the globe, his message was simple yet profound. Hug the trees, protect the earth. Bahuguna ji walked thousands of kilometers through the Himalayas not for the fame but for forests. He fasted, he protested, and he inspired, all in the spirit of non-violence and love for Mother Earth. In 1981, Bahuguna ji refused to accept the Padma Shri over the government's refusal to cancel the Tehri Dam project despite his protests. His legacy is not just in the trees that still stand tall, but in the countless hearts that now beat for the environment. And now, as we pause to reflect on a life rooted in the resilience and wrapped in the green embrace of nature, I invite our team to illuminate the screen with a visual homage, a tribute to the legendary Padma Vibhushan Sri Sundarlalji Bahuguna. Let the story unfold. Thank you, team. Let us not just remember him, let us carry forward his mission. Let every tree we save, every river we protect be a tribute to his green warrior of India. Sri Sundarlalji Bahuguna, a name etched in the bark of time, a soul rooted in the soil of sacrifice. Moving ahead, it is now my honor to invite a revered beacon of wisdom and grace, Dr. Santosh Dhar, Chairperson, Center of Excellence in Sustainable Development, to share the milestones of the center that has shaped an inspiring path for all.
Thank you,
Over to
Shweta.
you, ma'am.
Thank you, Shweta. Our esteemed guest on the occasion, Padma Shri Professor R.C.C. Beekeeping and pollination scientist, former Dean, Haryana Agricultural University, SAR, Honorable Chancellor of the University, Shri Purushottam Das Pasari ji, Vice Chancellor of the University, Dr. Upinder Dar, Honorary Secretary of the University, Kamal Narayan Buradia ji, HOIs, HODs of constant institutions of Shri Vaishno Vidyapith Vishwavidyalaya, Member Secretary Dr. Namrata Jain, all members of the center, colleagues, and my dear students, a warm welcome to 5th Sundarlal Bahuguna Memorial Oration. Let me give a review about how the center has worked towards sustainable development. Center of Excellence in Sustainable Development was established in the year 2019 by the university with a vision to contribute towards 3 pillars of sustainability. That is people, planet, prosperity. Since then, the center has taken several initiatives towards the accomplishment of sustainable development goals. The initiative of proper disposal of e-waste was taken by the center by disposing of 2.2 tons of electronic waste of the university with a registered company of electronic waste. Center has been conducting drives of cleanliness, plantation of saplings, awareness raising about solar panels, weeding out old and unimportant papers, poster making, slogan and speech competitions of environment, water, forest, conservation, and best out of the waste from time to time. Students of the university have been performing Nukkad Nataks for school-going students in the nearby villages to raise their awareness about how to minimize the use of single-use plastics and the need for cleanliness and hygiene. The center has also organized special talk shows on air pollution, its impact and control strategies, and the webinars on SDG 6, sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. The center, in collaboration with the National Institute of Disaster Home Affairs, Government of India, New Delhi, conducted a 3-day online training program wherein more than 600 delegates across the country participated. The center in Plantation Drive collaborated with Rotary Club and planted 100 saplings in Jabua. The center collaborated with Indore Municipal Corporation event, hashtag Bag Your Reusable, which was an awareness campaign about the hazards of plastics to encourage people to carry and use possible eco-friendly alternatives such as steel glasses, spoons, and bottles. The center collaborated with Isha Foundation to sensitize students towards the need for soil conservation for SDG 15, Life on Land. Every year, the center, in association with Jimmy Janak McGilligan Foundation for Sustainable Development, celebrates Jimmy Memorial Week for Sustainable Development so that youth can understand the importance of solar energy. The center celebrates prominent days such as World Environment Day, International Day of Forests, Earth Day, Ozone Day, and encourages students to participate in different activities organized at state and national level. Many of our students participated and won in national level and state level competitions organized by government and other private organizations pertaining to environment and sustainability. Sundarlal Bahuguna, a renowned Indian environmentalist, a man who taught Indians to hug trees, shall always be remembered as a man of the earth, to spread his spirit of compassion towards nature, to live in harmony with nature, and to impart a message of simplicity. The center organizes Sundarlal Bahuguna Memorial Oration by Padma awardees every year. Padma Bhushan Dr. Anil Prakash Joshi, Padma Shri Shyam Sundarlal Paliwal, Padma Shri Mahesh Sharma, Dr. Rajendra Singh, the Waterman of India, Padma Shri Himmat Ram Bambu, nature activists and wildlife conservationists have delivered the oration in last few years. In last 6 years, 48 different activities have been organized by the center, wherein 37 guests have graced different occasions, and there has been participation of around 3,571 students. To teach, to preach, to practice, and to live in harmony with nature is not a one-day or one-year affair. Continuity, consistency, consciousness, civic sense, and collective actions are principal components of sustainable life. We look forward to continue this journey with enthusiastic, more younger people joining us. Their fervor and pioneering movements will definitely help us to accomplish the objective with which Sri Vaishnav Vidyapith Vishwavidyalaya had set up the center. With these words, I once again welcome our guest Padma Shri R.C. Sehag and other dignitaries. We are certain that today's session on conservation of bee diversity or floral diversity would definitely turn out to be an enriching one for each one of us present here. Thank you so much. Over to Shweta Agarwal.
Thank you, ma'am. It is a moment now to share with the audience a glimpse of the activities and achievements of the Center of Excellence in Sustainable Development through a video. Thank you, Shadat sir. With great respect and honor, I now invite the distinguished architect of intellect and a guiding light in the realm of learning, Dr. Upinder Dhar, Honorable Vice Chancellor Sri Vaishnav Vidyapith Vishwavidyalaya Indore, to consecrate the event by his inspirational words. Over to you, sir.
Our Chancellor Shri Purushottam Das Ji Pasari, today's distinguished guest and speaker, Professor R.C. Sihag Ji, Honorary Secretary of our Trust, Shri Buradia Ji, all deans, directors, guests, and my dear students. As all of us know, today is the Environment Day. आज पर्यावरण दिवस मनाया जाता है और हर साल ये दिवस मनाया जाता है सुंदरलाल बहुगुणा की याद में और एज ए ट्रिब्यूट। जैसा कि हम जानते हैं, सुंदरलाल बहुगुणा इज वेरी वेल नोन फॉर चिपको मूवमेंट। फॉरेस्ट को न काटा जाए, उन्होंने एक मूवमेंट शुरू की जिसमें लोग पेड़ों के साथ चिपक गए ताकि पेड़ों को न काटा जाए, और वो मूवमेंट बहुत अप्रिशिएट हुई वर्ल्ड ओवर। पूरे दुनिया में उसकी चर्चा रही, और उसके अलावा भी वो पर्यावरण के लिए पूरे जीवन काम करते रहे। उन्हीं के कंट्रीब्यूशंस को याद करने के लिए और उनसे इंस्पायर होने के लिए ये पर्यावरण दिवस, एनवायरनमेंट डे मनाते हैं। जैसा कि हम जानते हैं दैट वर्ल्ड कंटिन्यूज ग्रैपलिंग विद क्लाइमेट चेंज इश्यूज। क्लाइमेट चेंज इश्यूज हमको मालूम है कितने हो रहे हैं क्लाइमेट में चेंजेस आज की तारीख। मेनी पीपल सीक आउट सॉल्यूशंस, और उसका सोल्यूशन भी ढूंढने की कोशिश करते हैं। पीपल ट्राई टू सीक आउट द सोल्यूशन। क्लाइमेट चेंज तो हो रही है और कई कारण है क्लाइमेट चेंज होने की, लेकिन एट द सेम टाइम उनका सोल्यूशन ढूंढना भी जरूरी है। वन पॉपुलर एग्जांपल इज बी कीपिंग, जिसके प्रोफेसर सिहाग एक्सपर्ट है और उन्होंने काफी काम इस पे किया है। दिस sustainable and environmentally friendly activity positively changes the world by protecting pollinators. While it might appear to be a niche hobby, beekeeping is good for the environment in many ways, from improving biodiversity to reducing greenhouse gases. One of the primary benefits of beekeeping is encouraging the bees' role in pollination. तो एक फ्लावर से दूसरे फ्लावर पे बीज जाती है और pollination happens. Bees are some of the most efficient pollinators in the world, leading to better yields of various plants and crops. Without bees, pollinating plants face a tremendous inability to reproduce and spread pollen. तो पोलन को एक फ्लावर से दूसरे फ्लावर तक पहुंचाने का काम बीज करती। Luckily, beekeeping can enhance pollination for plants and provide crucial support to the surrounding ecology. Bees help the success of annual crop yielding. Plus, local fauna and flora can flourish in an expansive ecosystem. इतना contribution bees करती है चुपके से, and many of us do not know, but they make a very significant contribution. Beekeeping supports domestic honey bees and local wild bee populations. Wild bee populations have significantly declined in recent years due to habitat loss, disease and pesticide use. जो बीज हम देते हैं कॉलोनीज में, हाउसेस में, बीज एकदम अपना छत्ता बनाते हैं, दो उनका नंबर अब कम होने लगा। जैसे जैसे वेजिटेशन कम हो गई, पेड़ काटे गए, तो उनका बनना भी कम हो गया शहरों में, सिटीज में, जहाँ पे हम कंक्रीट जंगल देखते हैं, बट स्टिल दे आर देयर। Beekeeping can support local wild bee populations by boosting biodiversity and improving the health of local ecosystem. At the same time, it reduces the greenhouse gases. While it may seem surprising, beekeeping can play a role in reducing greenhouse gases by supporting pollination of local and native plants and crops. Beekeeping reduces the need for crop and produce transportation, which normally has a high carbon footprint. Bees also support general plant growth, which absorbs atmospheric carbon dioxide. तो पहला तो ये हुआ दैट पॉलिनेशन में हेल्प करती है, दूसरा है दैट ग्रीन हाउस गैस इमिशंस को रिड्यूस करती है, तीसरा है हनी, शहद. Honey is an incredibly valuable substance that offers many health benefits. Honey can be an excellent natural sweetener, offering a healthier alternative to processed sugars. Additionally, byproducts of honey production, such as bee wax, can help to reduce the need for synthetic materials, such as plastic wrap, leather conditioner, and furniture polish. Further, जो हमारा जिसमें हमारा डायरेक्ट रोल है इन एज एन एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन, शिक्षण संस्थान होने के कारण इसमें हमारा मेजर रोल है, दैट इज इन एजुकेशन एंड अवेयरनेस. Beekeeping is a great way to educate people about the importance of pollinators. By learning how bees work and why beekeeping is good for the environment, people can appreciate the significance of these tiny creatures. Tiny, छोटे creatures है, लेकिन there are positive aspects also. ऐसा नहीं कि हम कई बार डर जाते, उधर मत जाइए, वो बी है उधर, मधुमक्खी है, काटेगी. It's not like that. If we manage properly and care for the bees and learn how to do the beekeeping, we can see benefits very clearly. Education of beekeeping can build awareness about its environmental impact. Beekeeping is a sustainable and fulfilling activity that helps the environment by improving biodiversity and reducing greenhouse emissions. अगर हम इसको summarize करें तो ये चीजें तो prominent है, ये benefits. It offers a chance to connect with nature and appreciate the balance bees bring to ecosystem. एक balance बना देती है environment, ecosystem. So these bees are resilient and productive, ensuring the success of beekeeping enterprise. So beekeeping is so important, and we need to realize, we need to understand the importance of proper beekeeping. That's why इसके लिए, इसके बारे में और भी ज्यादा जानने के लिए, और भी ज्यादा समझने के लिए, जो कि कॉमन व्यक्ति, कॉमन मैन, जिनका ये सब्जेक्ट नहीं है, जिनका ये फील्ड नहीं, जो नहीं जानते, the best person in the country is Professor R.C. Siag. So that's why we have invited him today to educate all of us and tell us more about beekeeping. So I welcome Professor Siag once again, and I wish happy learning to all who are attending this particular seminar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Your inspiration and vision is guiding us to reach new milestones. Now, with great respect and honor, I invite a true connoisseur of character and wisdom, Sri Purushottam Das Ji Pasari, Honorable Chancellor, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, to address the gathering. Over to you, sir.
नमस्कार। सुंदरलाल बहुगुणा स्मृति व्याख्यान के मुख्य अतिथि एवं वक्ता पद्मश्री प्रोफेसर रामचंद्र सिहाग, वैष्णव विद्यापीठ ट्रस्ट के सचिव श्री कमल नारायण जी भुरारिया, वैष्णव विद्यापीठ विश्वविद्यालय के कुलपति डॉक्टर उपेंद्र धर, अध्यक्ष सेंटर ऑफ एक्सीलेंस इन सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट डॉक्टर संतोष धर, कार्यक्रम समन्वयक डॉक्टर उत्तम शर्मा, सभी संस्थानों और विभागों के प्रमुख और सभी विशिष्ट प्रतिभागी जो इस ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म के माध्यम से हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं, आप सभी को हार्दिक सुप्रभात एवं आप सबका हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं। विशेष रूप से आज के हमारे वक्ता पद्मश्री प्रोफेसर रामचंद्र जी सिहाग का विशेष रूप से स्वागत करता हूं, जिन्होंने आज यहाँ इस कार्यक्रम में आके हमारी गरिमा को बढ़ाया है। श्री वैष्णव ट्रस्ट एवं इसकी सहयोगी संस्थाओं ने गत 141 वर्षों से इंदौर शहर में नर सेवा नारायण सेवा मंत्र को आधार मानकर जन सेवा एवं जन कल्याण के अनेक प्रकल्प संचालित किए हैं। वर्ष 1884 में इंदौर के वस्त्र व्यवसायियों ने स्वयं के व्यवसाय पर शैक्षिक टैक्स लगाकर श्री वैष्णव सहायक कपड़ा मार्केट कमेटी की स्थापना की गई थी। कमेटी के अंतर्गत ट्रस्ट संचालित हुए और आज हमारे ट्रस्ट के अंतर्गत 4 सीबीएसई स्कूल, 5 कॉलेज और सन 2015 से श्री वैष्णव विद्यापीठ विश्वविद्यालय स्थापित किया गया है। विश्वविद्यालय की स्थापना मानवता के बेहतर भविष्य के उत्थान को उत्कृष्ट शिक्षा, प्रशिक्षण एवं अनुसंधान के माध्यम से उत्थान करने की दृष्टि से की गई है। विश्वविद्यालय का उद्देश्य ऐसा उत्कृष्ट शैक्षणिक वातावरण प्रदान करना है जिससे कि बौद्धिक, नैतिक एवं आध्यात्मिक प्रेरणा मिल सके एवं मूल्य आधारित नेतृत्व की क्षमता को पोषित किया जा सके। पर्यावरण संरक्षण करना हम सभी की नैतिक जिम्मेदारी है और हम सभी को इसमें अपना योगदान देना चाहिए। इसी उद्देश्य की पूर्ति के लिए विश्वविद्यालय में सेंटर ऑफ एक्सीलेंस इन सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट की स्थापना की गई थी। सेंटर ऑफ एक्सीलेंस इन सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट पर्यावरण जागरूकता और संरक्षण के लिए विभिन्न गतिविधियों का निरंतर आयोजन करता है। महान भारतीय वैज्ञानिकों की स्मृति में स्मृति व्याख्यान श्रृंखला विश्वविद्यालय में आयोजित की जाती रही है। महान पर्यावरण चिंतक एवं चिपको आंदोलन के प्रमुख सुंदरलाल बहुगुणा स्मृति व्याख्यान के लिए मैं हमारी संस्थान को बधाई देता हूँ। वे निश्चित रूप से ये व्याख्यान युवाओं में पर्यावरण के प्रति जागरूकता पैदा करेंगे और उन्हें प्रकृति के संरक्षण के लिए अपनी जिम्मेदारियों को समझने में भी मदद करेंगे। मैं इस ऑनलाइन मंच पर श्री वैष्णव विद्यापीठ विश्वविद्यालय में हमारे आज के वक्ता पर्यावरणवाद पद्मश्री प्रोफेसर रामचंद्र सिहाग का पुनः अभिनंदन करता हूँ। मधुमक्खी प्रबंधन और फसल परागण परिस्थितियों की राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर ले जाने में आपने अहम भूमिका निभाई है। यह मेरी प्रबल भावना है कि ये व्याख्यान निश्चित रूप से युवा मन को प्रज्वलित करने के उद्देश्य की पूर्ति करेगा। धन्यवाद। जय वैष्णव, जय हिंद।
Thank you, sir, for guiding and mentoring us always. Without taking any pause, I request the Statue of Knowledge and Experience, Dr. Uttam Sharma, Coordinator SVIS and Member Center of Excellence in Sustainable Development, to read the citation of Padma Shri R.C. Sihag, Beekeeping and Pollination Scientist and former Dean, Haryana Agriculture University. Over to you, sir.
Professor Ramchandar Sihag is a globally renowned scientist in beekeeping and pollination ecology. Born on January 5th, 1952, he completed PhD in zoology, apiculture in 1980. He began his professional career at Haryana Agriculture University, Hisar. During his tenure, Professor Sihag made groundbreaking contribution to apiculture research and its application, playing a pivotal role in establishing and expanding the beekeeping industry. He introduced beekeeping in semi-arid and hot climates and began annual training program in 1982 for farmer, women in agriculture, and ex-servicemen. His research led to standardization of beekeeping practices for the European honeybee in India, making it large-scale adoption possible. As a result of his efforts, bee colonies grew from 5,000 to 1980 to 3.5 million today, significantly boosting honey, bee wax, and pollen products. This expansion has also generated employment for over 1 lakh individuals and contributed sustainably around rupees 1,200 billions annually to India's GDP through enhanced pollination services. His international recognition includes being elected Fellow of Royal Entomology Society London since 1992. He has chaired the pollination section of Asian Apiculture Association. He also served in editorial role of over 20 national and international journals, including editor-in-chief of the Journal of Entomology and academic editor of International Journal of Ecology. He has published more than 200 research and semi-technical articles in reputed journals, magazines, and authored 8 books manuals. He has supervised 18 PhD and 29 PG scholars during his tenure. His work has earned number of awards, including the prestigious Rafi Ahmad Kidwai Memorial Prize, Scroll of Honor in International Conference on Plant Sciences, Lifetime Achievement Award by Environmental Society of India, E.P. Odom Memorial Award by Educational, Cultural and Social Welfare Society of India, the Ambedkar Fellowship Award, and Government of India conferred him with 4th highest civilian award, Padma Shri, in the year 2024. Shri Vaishnav Vidyapit Vishwavidyalaya is privileged to present this citation to Professor Ram Chandar Sihak for gracing the 5th Sundar Lal Bahuguna Memorial Oration as distinguished speaker on 5th June 2025. Unquote.
It is now my honor to request Shri Purushottam Das Ji Pasari, Honorable Chancellor Shri Vaishnav Vidyapit Vishwavidyalaya, and Dr. Upinder Dhar, Honorable Vice Chancellor Shri Vaishnav Vidyapit Vishwavidyalaya, and Dr. Santosh Dhar, Chairperson, Center of Excellence in Sustainable Development, to present the citation to Padma Shri R.C. Sihag, Beekeeping and Pollination Scientist and former Dean, Haryana Agriculture University, in virtual mode. Thank you. With immense honor and anticipation, I now invite our esteemed chief guest, Padma Shri R.C. Sehag, Beekeeping and Pollination Scientist and former Dean, Haryana Agriculture University, a visionary leader and a paragon of excellence, to awaken us with his inspiring oration on conservation of bee diversity for floral diversity. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sveta. Honorable Chancellor Sri Purushottam Das Pasari ji, Honorable Vice Chancellor Sri Upinder Dhar ji of Sri Vaishnav Vidyapit Vishwavidyalaya, Indore, Deans and Directors of the University, Heads of the Departments, dear teachers and dear students, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I am highly thankful to the University Shri Vaishnav Vidyapit Vishwavidyalaya, Indore, who have invited me to deliver my talk on World Environment Day. I congratulate you all that the university is celebrating this day because this has a great importance world over, not in India, world over, because we are now captured with the situation where environment is being deteriorated day by day. And this World Environment Day makes it conscious to keep it, conserve it, to keep it intact for the coming generations. So many congratulations to the university authorities who are celebrating this. And I'm thankful that I have been invited for this lecture today. My lecture will be in 3 phases actually. First, I'll talk about the flora. Second, I'll talk about the conservation of the bees. And third, I think the young generation, the students should be encouraged from my talk, and they should take it as a motivational lecture that they can also achieve in their life a lot of things. So starting with this, first of all, I offer my tribute to Sri Sundar Bahuguna, a great environmentalist of this country who played a great role in the conservation of, in the protection of forests and the trees. His movement, which was called as a Chipko movement in early 1970s, it was against the felling of trees. What the government used to do, they used to give contract for the felling of the tree at the time. So he raised a voice that this should not be stopped immediately because this will change the ecology of the ecosystem where these people were living. This Chipko movement, they became a public movement, and the people, they resisted this, and government had to abandon this move and cancel the contracts for felling of the trees. This was started in Samoli district of Uttarakhand, but later on this became a mass movement in the whole of the Uttarakhand and northern India. And that is why this great environmentalist was honored, facilitated by the government of India. We are really thankful to the person who made us to become aware about the value of the trees, because this the slogan of this, you see, Chipko movement was ecology is the permanent economy. We have heard that in past villages, we talk about the villages, they used to be self-reliant, self-sufficient. Likewise, our ecology, this provides everything to us. And in the hill states, you see everything is brought from the forests. So conservation of forest ecology was most important, and all economy depended upon the forest ecology. That's why it has great importance. And I salute the environmentalist Sundar Bahuguna ji for starting such movement and taking care of our forests. Thank you. Now, little about the environment. This is for the students actually. If we define environment, anything surrounding us is called our environment. Two types of environment we have: biotic and abiotic. Biotic environment is constituted by the living organisms, and the abiotic environment by the non-living objects like chemical environment and the physical environment. If we will have to care about all type of these environments, then only then we can live in a congenial environment actually. Now my main talk that should be on the conservation of bee diversity for floral diversity. One should understand about the diversity. What is diversity? Variability in the community is called diversity. If we talk about the diversity of bees, that means several type of bees are there. We must conserve all those bees. I'll show how they are important. Here I have shown 4 types of bees. This is the first, in the first slide is the European honeybee. In the second slide, this is the bumblebee. The third slide in the left, This is a small honeybee. We call it red dwarf honeybee. And this is the giant honeybee. We call it Apis dorsata, the largest bee. These bees, they have importance in the ecosystem. Their role is different. They bring out pollination, but pollination in different plants. Now, if you see, we have nature. Nature has gifted so many things to us. Have we thought any time what is the most beautiful gift the nature has given to us? Have we ever thought about this? I'll show you what nature has given and which is the most beautiful gift of nature. This is the most evolved species on the earth, human being. See, they are, if you see a naked person, you will call the beautiful species nature has produced. Some person, they don't have hair, others have hair, but they wear clothes to look beautiful, and they even wear ornaments to look more beautiful. That means single species human being is not beautiful, that beautiful, which should be, and the nature has created. So let's see the other part also. This is the female Homo sapiens. You can see we add to our beauty with the clothes, with the ornaments, only then we become beautiful. So I rate the Homo sapiens, human being, as the second runner-up in the nature's beauty actually. Next, triple B, we have birds, butterflies and bees. You'll see they are also very beautiful, but where they stand. See, these are the natural colors of the birds. You can see how beautiful they are, but these colors, they are natural. They have not painted these colors, and you'll see lakhs of birds are there on the earth. They are so beautiful. They have beautiful colors, but their beauty also doesn't stand on the top. The next group, the butterflies, again, large number of butterflies are there in lakhs and different colors. See, this is, I was talking about the diversity again. You see the diversity of butterflies and the diversity of colors. They are also beautiful, but they also don't come on the top. These are the bees. They are also very beautiful creatures created by the nature, and different colors of bees. The orchid bees, they are metallic in color. Second, blue Xylocopa, we call it carpenter bee with blue thorax. This is male of the Xylocopa, the yellow bees. Then yellow thorax bee, again Xylocopa fenestrata. This is another yellow banded bees, then blue banded bees. There are so large number of bees, colored bees, but their beauty stands only second, and they are the first runner-up. In my view, they are the most beautiful gift of the nature. I'll show you now. They are the flowers. These are the angiosperms, the flower-bearing plants. They are the most beautiful gift of nature. I'll tell you how they are beautiful, because they give picturesque beauty to these are the artificial gardens we have produced. First flower is of almond, second is of orchids, third this is a tulip garden in Srinagar, fourth this is a lavender farm somewhere in Europe. So they present such a beautiful picturesque beauty to the earth and an environment. You will feel that this is the most beautiful gift of nature. Next, in the nature, what happens? See the beauty of angiosperms. Angiosperms are the flower-bearing plants. They are so beautiful and so many colors are there. The nature has given to us. When they flower, the whole earth, it looks like a beautiful template on this universe. This beauty has been given by nature to us through the angiosperm, the flower-bearing plants. They are the most beautiful gift of the nature. You see the diversity. We have never seen these angiosperm. They have so many types of flowers. If you see the shape, there are 13 types. You have bell-shaped, you have trumpet shape, you have star-shaped flowers, so many flowers and so many types of colors. These angiosperms bear. Angiosperms, they bear. Angiosperms is a group of plants, actually, the group of trees. These types of, you can see the diversity in shape. This means shape of the flower. This means they will require different type of pollinators also. In the next series of slides, I'll show you what type of pollinator will be there. But because they have different shapes and every pollinator cannot pollinate every flower, so these shapes have been given by the nature to the angiosperm. This is the diversity, variability in the shape of the flowers. Why conservation of angiosperm is important now? The smallest angiosperm, the smallest flower is found in the angiosperms on the earth. This is the size of rice grain only. This is called Wolfia globosa. The tallest angiosperm, eucalyptus, this is about 375 feet tall. This is found in Australia. Rarest angiosperms, Camellia japonica, only 2 species are left. Largest flower, Rafflesia arnold, this is 1 meter diameter, 7 kg weight, about 10 feet diameter of the flower. Such a big flower it has. And the largest leaf angiosperm has, this is 82 feet long and 10 feet wide. This is the diversity shown by the angiosperm on the earth. First angiosperm was the Archaeophractus. This originated 130 million years ago. So angiosperms are coming to propagating in this earth, on this earth, since last 130 million years. Longest lived trees we have angiosperms again. Among the angiosperms, it lives for 2000 years, and its volume is about 500 cubic meter wood. It has. Largest tree also is in the angiosperms. This is called general sermon. The tree has 1487 cubic meter volume. This is the largest living organism on earth. Most poisonous plant is also found in the angiosperms. This is Atropa belladonna. The largest flower found in India. This is about 10 to 15 feet tall. This is Amorphilus titanium, and common name is title rum. These are the characteristics of angiosperm. Every type of variability is there, diversity is there in the angiosperm, color is there, and then different sizes are there. Every type of, they have ecological value also. See, they provide us so many things. They provide us food, they provide us medicines, they provide habitat to large number of organisms. They influence our global climates. Already the Vice Chancellor sir told about how they affect the climate. Then they support the structures of the biomes. Biomes are the ecosystems. We call desert ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, and then say forest ecosystem. All these depend upon the name of the system, depends on the type of vegetation it has. If it has dominant vegetation as forest, then it is forest ecosystem. If it has grassland, then grasses, it is grassland ecosystem. Like this we have. And angiosperm, this characteristic of the angiosperm, you see, they provide picturesque beauty to the earth ecosystem. Angiosperm make 90% of the total plants. Can you see? All plants and 90% are the angiosperms. their sequestration of carbon dioxide is 90% of the sequestration of carbon dioxide is done by the angiosperms on the earth. This is their ecological importance. Any decline in angiosperms means causing disturbance to the carbon dioxide pool of the earth ecosystem or our biosphere. So this is the importance of the angiosperm. That is why I have talked about the conservation of the angiosperms. How can be angiosperms conserved? We have only 2-3 methods. First, we stop tree felling, but that cannot be possible because we use them for our domestic purposes, etc. in our construction and so many things of furnitures, etc. Regularly, the angiosperm they are being felt. Then we can do rigorous replacement. Rigorous replacement is the duty of the forest officials. They are doing, but the speed is very, very disproportionate as compared to the felling. Then we can ensure propagation, their propagation. Propagation means we facilitate their reproduction. This is the issue today I'll be talking about, how we can promote their propagation or enhance reproduction. Two methods can be there of the propagation. One is the vegetative methods. This will need extensive, enormous efforts because they are in the 90% area on the biosphere or our Earth surface, and only vegetative efforts cannot fulfill that position. Then through seeds, this is possible. This we can do if we can ensure reproduction in the angiosperms. And then how can we ensure reproduction? This is the main issue actually. This is the structure of a typical flower. The Vice Chancellor sir was talking about the pollination. I'll come to the subject then. We should know about what is the structure of the flower. Flower has two reproductive parts. One, they produce pollen in the botanist will understand very well about this. The pollen is produced in the anthers. This pollen then will go to the stigma. This is the stigma. The pollens are sticking there. They will germinate there. Then the pollen tube will grow, and the fertilization will take place in the ovary. Only then the seed will be formed. Fruit or seed will be formed. This is the structure, and this is the process how the seed formation takes place in the plants. This pollen, how the pollen should come to the stigma. There are many agents. This must reach. First condition is the reproduction is the pollen must reach from the anthers to the stigma. If this doesn't need reach to the stigma, there will be no fertilization, no pollination, and no fertilization. This transfer of pollen to the from anthers to the stigma, this is called pollination, and its germination and seed production. This is germination, then formation of seed. Then it takes place like this. Two types of pollinating agents are there: abiotic and abiotic. Abiotic, non-living, like gravity, water, air. These are the abiotic agents. By gravity means that when pollen falls from the above level to the lower ground by means of gravity, this is called zeophily or pollination by gravity. And if the water plays a role, then it is hydrophily. And if air plays a role in the transfer of pollen, this is anemophily. This gravity with this zeophily, hydrophily, anemophily, their effectivity is very less. Second is biotic. Biotic agent, they are the mainly flying or moving objects like insects, birds, and mammals. They also bring pollination in large number of angiosperms. Insects and birds are the main. In some flowers, mammals also do, like bats, and some rodents also do pollination. Pollination by insects, this is called entomophily. By birds, this is called ornithophily, and By mammals, this is chirophyll something. Now, what is the effectivity of the different modes of pollination? The water movement and gravity, they have very low and limited effectivity, because water pollination can take place only in water plants, gravity in some plants only, and not in all the plants. Effectivity of wind pollination, you can see this is the formula with which we can we derive pollination effectivity. For 1 square millimeter of stigmatic surface, stigma, I showed you what is stigma. It's, if we see its surface area, on 1 square millimeter, we will require 1 million pollen grains for 1 square millimeter of area required. 1 million pollen grains. So the plant has to produce large number of pollen. Main energy of the plant is expended in the production of pollen only. So wind pollinated plants, they produce large number of pollen. The all grasses and the related plants, they are wind pollinated, like maize, etc., and all grasses. During March, April, we have some person, they are sensitive to pollen, they have asthma, etc. So that comes through wind, and that is for the wind pollinated plants. Actually, they produce large number of pollen, and it requires large number of pollen. That is why its effectivity is very less, and acuity is also very less. Effectivity of zoopollination, pollination by animals, this is very, very high and very acute. I'll show how. If we see the whole angiosperm group of plants, there are 4 types of reproductive barriers in these plants. These are self-incompatibility, protandry or protogyny, unisexuality, and heterostyly. I'll show how this is self-incompatibility. You see, if self-pollination takes place, the flower, it utilizes its own pollen, there will be no seed set in such flowers, because this self-incompatibility, this doesn't grow, the pollen will not germinate, or if it will germinate, its pollen tube will not reach to the ovule, we call it, where seed will be formed in the ovary. There the tube won't reach. That is why there will be no seed set. If crossing is there, only then the seed set will take place in such plants. These are the self-incompatible plants. I'll show what is the proportion of these plants in the whole angiosperm group. Most of these presentation is on my research actually, and I have given the examples there. This, for example, Brassica rapa, this is turnip. This is self-incompatible, cannot utilize its own pollen. So the bees, they bring out pollination from one, they'll bring pollen from one flower to the other flower. Only then seed set will be there in this plant, and source large number of other plants also. This is Brassica campestris also, the same situation exists. These are self-incompatible. The flowers are self-incompatible. They cannot set seed if the pollen comes from their own flower. This must come from the other flower. This is protandry. You can see, if the pollen, here what happens actually, in some plants, male part matures first, and the female part, means stigma is not receptive. When the flower produces and this pollen, its own stigma is not receptive, has not grown mature. So if the self-pollination takes place, the pollen won't germinate there. In this case also, the pollen must come from the other flower, and that pollen should reach to the flower where the stigma has already become mature and receptive. Only then the seed setting will take place. And sometimes what happens, pollen is not produced and the stigma becomes receptive, like we call mirchi, etc. in this. the substitution happens, and cell pollen cannot be utilized by the flower, though it must come from the other flower, and cross pollination is essential for the setting of the seed or the fruit. Next. This is the example of protandry onion. In onion, there will be no seed set if cross pollination is not there. These are our own studies. Then unisexuality. That there are two conditions of unisexuality. Either the flowers are unisexual or the plants are unisexual. For example, cucurbits, the ghiya, tori, etc. We have so many. These are called cucurbits. In their flowers, we have unisexual flowers. Here, pollen must come from the male flower to the female flower. Only then the fruit will formed. है ना, घिया ऐसे नहीं बनेगी, ना करेला बनेगा, ना तोरी बनेगी, ना तुम्बा बनेगा, एटसेट्रा. ये जितने भी प्लांट्स है इनमें तभी फ्रूट बनेगा अगर क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन होती है. और कुछ प्लांट्स ही यूनिसेक्सुअल है. सम प्लांट्स आर यूनिसेक्सुअल लाइक पपाया. Here male and female plants are there. So pollen must come from the male plant to the female flowers of the female plant. Only then the fruit set will be there. Without this procedure, there will be no fruit set. So we need pollinating agent here. These are the flowers of cucurbits. मैंने बताया ना घिया और तोरी, करेला, etc. में कैसे फूल होते हैं. Upper line, this represents the female flowers. Lower line represents the male flowers. The pollen must come from the male flower to the female flower. Only then the fruit will be formed. This is my own studies. Large number of crops I studied, and what could I find in all? For example, oilseed crops. तोरिया सेल्फ इनकम्पेटिबल है, ब्राउन सरसों सेल्फ इनकम्पेटिबल है, तारामीरा सेल्फ इनकम्पेटिबल, सनफ्लावर सेल्फ इनकम्पेटिबल, safflower self compatible but cross pollination is required. Castor is self compatible plus cross pollination is required. These are the vegetable crops. Radish self incompatible hai, this is cross pollination required. Turnip self incompatible, cross pollination required. Cauliflower self incompatible, cross pollination required. Carrot protandry exists, cross pollination required. All cucurbits unisexuality, then cross pollination required. Tomato, this is self compatible, but pollen cannot come out. Here buzz pollination required. Some bees, they'll come to the flower and they will make buzzing sound when they are touching the flower. After sitting on the flower, they will vibrate their wings very frequently. This is called buzz pollination. The pollen will be liberated, and this pollen then when they will go to the other flower, this will be deposited there. Same happens in brinjal. Pollination is by buzz pollination, and in lady's finger also self pollination is there, but cross pollination increases fruit production in this crop also. These are horticultural crops where again apple self incompatibility exists, cross pollination is required. Peach self incompatibility exists, cross pollination required. Pear, plum, all are self incompatible. Guava partially self incompatible. Grapes partially self incompatible. Citrus self incompatible. Behave self compatible. Behave, but cross pollination increases the size of the fruits, quality of the fruits. Jujube, this is protandrous condition exists, and cross pollination is essential here also. Beverages, condiments and spices, you can see cardamom, this is self compatible, but cross pollination is important here. Coriander, protandrous condition exists, cross pollination required. Cumin, protandrous, cross pollination required. Fennel also protandrous, cross pollination required. Tea is self incompatible. Coffee is self incompatible. Cross pollination is required everywhere. You see, they are not how many plants. These are the representative of whole class of angiosperms, and how many plants they required cross pollination. You can see this is the proportion. I'll show you. In the fiber crops also, cotton and hemp both are self compatible. Cross pollination increases marvelously in these crops also, fruit production. Forage crops, alfalfa, this is a forage crop for our cattle and horses, etc. Self-compatible, but alfalfa cannot be pollinated without the bees. Persimmon, self-incompatible, again requires bees for pollination. Pulses, all pulses are self-pollinated, but cross-pollination increases seed production about 15 to 20% in all the pulses. Quality is improved and quantity is also improved. If you see the breeding status of angiosperms on the whole earth, more than 60% of angiosperms are self-incompatible. More than 25% are protandrous or protogynous condition exists. They all require cross-pollination. About 5% are unisexual flowers or plants. They also require cross-pollination. Heterostyle exists. Heterostyle means when the anthers and stigma are not on the same level. Sometimes anthers are above level, on the above level. Sometimes stigma is on the above level. So self-pollination cannot take place in such flower also. And about 1% angiosperms have this condition. And other side like anemophily, etc., which are pollinated by winds, etc., they are less than 10%. So about 90%, more than 90% of the angiosperms, flower-bearing plants, and they are 90% on the earth of the whole vegetation. They require cross-pollination. Now I come to the bees. Conservation of bees, why important? Bees originated around 124 million years ago. When plants, angiosperms have already originated, simultaneously and very near to those, the bees also originated. They originated from the predatory wasps. You have seen some wasps, they eat other insects or they provision their nest with the larvae of other insects. They are called predatory wasp. They were already there, but they started feeding on pollen and gradually they evolved into the bees. And about 124 million years ago, our bees came into existence. This is the archaeological proofs which are with us, which can suggest they are there about from 124 million years ago on the earth. So they came with the angiosperms, and their food was pollen. That is why they became pollinators. Presently, there are about 20,000 bee species in the world, and they represent great diversity, large number. They belong to 9 families, and in shape, color, sizes, they have marvelous diversity. They have different social orders, different feeding habits, different nesting habits. On the basis of their social orders, feeding habits, nesting habits, we have been able to domesticate them, to keep them, to culture them. On the basis of social system in the society, they are social, quasi-social, or solitary bees. They remain solitary means they remain alone actually. On the feeding habit, they are oligolactic or polylactic. Oligolactic we mean they feed on very narrow taxa of flowers, taxa of plants actually, maybe 2-3 plants only like this. Polylactic bees are those bees which gather pollen from several types of flowers actually. Then there are specialist and generalist pollinators. Specialist pollinators are oligolactic pollinators. And the angiosperms, the plants, they require some plants, they require the services of only specialist pollinators. And many flowers, like say in case of leguminous corolla, you'll see specialist pollinators are required. But in open flowers, which are open flowers, there are 2 types of flowers which have on the basis of their symmetry. Some are actinomorphic symmetry, they are simple flowers. Some have zygomorphic symmetry, they are complex flowers. They have concealed their reproductive parts as well as pollen and nectar. concealed in such a way that a force will be required to get that pollen and nectar. And while doing so, the pollinator, whichever will go to the flower, they will pollinate the flower. So in simple flowers, this doesn't require the pollinator will go to the flower and collect the nectar easily. Those are the simple flowers actually. So specialist flowers, the more complex flowers, they require specialist pollinators, and the simple flowers they require generalist pollinators. I'll tell which are the simple generalists, which are the specialist pollinators. Then among the bees, we have large number of bees which make nest at different places. Some are ground nesting bees, they make nest in the soil. Some are alkali bees, they make nest in the alkaline soil. Some are the resin bees, they use resin for the construction of their nest. Some are the mason bees, they use mud for the construction of their nest. Some are the leaf cutter bees, they use leaf from the plants and they will make their nest. Some are the carpenter bees, they will scrap the pith of the stem and they'll make nest in the then hollow cavity made in this way. Why bees are the dependable pollinators? This I wish to tell you in this slide. Because their food is pollen and nectar. The bees, they feed on pollen and nectar, and their brood, we call the larvae, they also feed on only pollen and nectar. And this pollen and nectar comes from the flowers. And flowers are the flower bearing plants are the angiosperms. So the food of the bees that comes from the angiosperms only. Then morphologically, bees are better adapted for pollination because all bees, they have hairs on their body, and when they are visiting a flower, then they're working on the flower while collecting pollen. They collect pollen with the help of their legs. They move legs like this on the anthers. Then they collect pollen. Some of the pollen that get entangled into their hairs. This pollen, when they will go to the other flower, this pollen is transferred to the other flower, and this way pollination takes place. Sociality, on the basis of sociality, you see, we have social bees, we have honey bees, they are social bees. We have stingless honey bees also. They cannot sting, but they also collect honey. We call them stingless bees. There are bumblebees, they also collect nectar in the vessels, wax vessels they prepare for in their nest. And we have some solitary bees. I'll show you which are the solitary bees. True honeybees, we have 4 species. Otherwise, we have about 11 species, but I don't have here all listed. And main in India, we have Apis florea. This is the red dwarf honeybee. We call Apis florea, smallest honeybee. This is polylactic. Polylactic means this for pollen and nectar. This goes to large number of plants, flowers, and mainly she visits this bee visits small flowers, because this is the smallest honeybee, very small in size, and require very less nectar to carry. The pollen nectar should be carried, the amount should be carried to the size of the bee. So this will carry very small amount of nectar. People say many times which honey is best, whether this is from the small honeybee or the large honeybee. I always say Apis florea, this is the small honeybee. This requires very small quantity. This can fulfill its requirement from a small flower also. That is why it will bring a nectar only from the flowers. But Apis dorsata, this is giant honeybee, very large honeybee. Small, the Apis florea, 10 liter of the microliter nectar this brings. Apis dorsata brings around 50 microliter in its stomach. So its requirement is very high, large bee it is. This sometimes this goes to the rotten fruits and some say vegetable, the sweet shops also collect sugars, etc. That's why its honey can be a bit qualitatively different from the Apis florea. Apis cerana, this is the Indian honeybee. This is kept in the hives. I'll show how this is kept. And Apis mellifera, this is the European honeybee. This European honeybee, I worked on this bee, and I was instrument in the keeping and expansion of this honeybee in India. Stingless honeybee, we have, these are the tropical bees. In southern India, we have these bees. These are also polylactic bees. They also collect honey, and their honey is have high value because it is mainly used in medicines. Stingless honeybee. This is black in color actually, but honey coming from other 4 bees, 2 honeybees, that has different colors from exactly colorless to some dark amber honey they produce. But stingless honeybee, they produce dark honey. Bumblebees also, they collect nectar. They are also polylactic. They can pollinate large number of plants. Stingless bee can also pollinate large number of plants. They different type of plants actually. And all honeybee also, they can pollinate different types of plants. So their usefulness is more than the solitary bees, but their value is different actually. This is the red dwarf honeybee, the smallest honeybee we have in India. Red color, this has abdomen, last part is called abdomen. This is red. That is why this is called red dwarf honeybee. The dwarf means this is the smallest in size. Very beautiful bee. A small colony it makes. Small honey it collects, and very good. This is the small colony of the this red dwarf honeybee. The honey is collected on the upper part, and the brood, the larvae, etc., they are in the lower round part actually. This we have been able to keep this honeybee at my farm. This how we bring this honeybee in the hives. This we are capturing and hiving the colony. We call it a colony actually. This colony we are hiving it this way. Then we have brought it to the farm, and we keep this Apis florea in the boxes. For the scientists actually, not only for honey, we make scientific studies also on the this is research material for us actually, and we can see what is happening in the colony, what are the enemies. When the queens are produced, when drones are produced, means male are produced. What is the size of the colony? How many bees are there? For how long this will stay here? How we can utilize it? This is our studies actually we do on these bees, and I've been able to keep it for many months actually. This is again, I'm making studies on this honeybee, and I am also divided this into 2 parts. One part is here shown in this. I have given the feeding also the cup of sugar with this, and we keep these for many months actually. This is the giant honeybee, we call it, the largest bee we find in India. Very beautiful bee, very fast. It collects around 10 kg of honey in its comb, and a very big comb. I'll show you. They make nest on the very tall trees, about some 50 to 50 feet above ground. This is the colony of giant honeybee. This was also a study material for me. I worked on this honeybee for 40 years actually, around 40 years, and on red dwarf honeybee also. I've been able to conserve this honeybee also, and utilized it for the pollination purpose, for honey production, and for wax production also. See, this make nest on the buildings also, and this swollen part on the left side, this is the honey collected by this bee. They go on nesting on the building projections mainly. They make nest, and they stay there during the floral season actually, and during floral season they collect a lot of honey that becomes available if you harvest it, and if you don't harvest, they'll consume it and then leave the comb there. This I have been able to domesticate them. I attracted them on a frame. This I designed. This was my research recently published in MDPI journal Insects. This honeybee stayed on these devices for 3-4 months. Later on, they migrate because the temperature increases in this part of India. The Haryana, Hisar is the hottest place in the country. The temperature reaches here about 48 to 50 degrees Celsius during summer, and relative humidity comes below 10 degree. 10 below 10 relative humidity comes. At that time, bees, they are not able to survive. Actually, above 40 degree, it is difficult for them to survive. They need a lot of water for cooling of the colony, and for those months they will leave the comb and they will fly away. They will migrate to some other place, mostly foothills. There they will make new nests. But during their stay, they come in the northern India. They come in October and they stay up to mid-May. During these months, my project was how I can utilize them for honey production and wax production and the pollination purposes. Because earlier this bee used to make nest on shisham tree. And what happens actually, groundwater in northern India, it increased, it came up, and the majority of shisham trees, there's the Indian rosewood, those died actually, and we lost the nesting source of this honeybee. Suddenly we lost nesting source, so we need some alternate source for where these can nest, and we can utilize their potential of honey production, pollination, as well as wax production. So this is I went with this research and I became successful in this venture. We could attract it time and again every year. See, this is the empty on the lower floor of the building. This is on the third floor, otherwise 30 feet, some 40 feet above ground. This is the desert comb, such a big comb. I'll show you. This is the comb. This is me when I was 35 young scientist working on this Dorsetta. This is the deserted comb. You can see upper part carries honey. And in the middle, this is the brood, and on the lower part, you can see these are the queen cells. These produce new queen every year, and new colonies are produced. So these are the queen cells. So this became for me a very easy method to attract them, to extract honey, to extract pollen, and make study on this honeybee. This was very easy, became method for me. This is the live colony, and this is being touched by hand. You can see, I became able to calm down their aggressiveness also, and it was easy for me to then to make studies on these bees also. And otherwise, because it makes nest on such a height, some 50 feet above ground on the tree, you climb the tree, reach near the colony, very difficult to make studies. So this has become possible by this research. This is nest of stingless honeybee. This is a different kind of honeybee. These bees, they don't have sting actually. They don't sting. These are found in southern India. 2-3 species we have, and some people, they are working in Kerala. They are working on this honeybee. It's honey, I already told you. This has a great medicinal value and has high price actually in the market. These are also kept in the such boxes. We have some on the ceiling. You can see there are ventilators, and there is one entrance only. The colony is kept inside, and they are hung on the trees, etc. And they work. And whenever you need their honey, that is extracted. This is the bumblebee. This is the temperate climate honeybee. Temperate climate bee. We have this bee on the hills, in northern India, in Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, northern Himachal Pradesh, then Uttarakhand hills. This found. This Bombus terrestris, this is the most domesticated honeybee in the world. This is found used in whole of the Europe, then in USA also, Canada. It is used for pollination, especially in greenhouse pollinator, the very important pollinator. It's mainly used for pollination purpose. These are the pollinator. This wedge plant, they are pollinating. Actually, they are collecting pollen and nectar, but they pollinate the flowers also. And they are one of the biggest bees. Biggest I'll show. This is about the same size of that bee. Solitary bee, we have the biggest one. This is their nest. They have made some pots, etc. Here they collect nectar in this, and the queen, they breed in these type pots where larvae are then reared. The same food is the same, pollen and nectar they feed to the. And that is why they also will go to the plants. They will collect pollen, and one of the bee in the center, you see, on the legs there are pollen attached. The pollen ball are there. If you see carefully, yellow color pollen is there. They have brought, this bee has brought on my right side, your right side, you can see they on both the legs, they have hind legs, pollen is there. They have brought pollen, and they will collect it in this colony, in this pots. This is a solitary bee. Everyone has seen bhora, we call it. Perhaps everybody has seen this bee, a black jet black bee, a very important pollinator and very fast flyer, goes up to 10 kilometers from its nest to collect pollen and nectar, and useful pollinator. I worked on this bee for, I have about 10 publication, very important publication on the domestication of this honeybee, this bee. And this is the important pollinator in whole of the India. Carpenter bee, we call it, already I've told you. This scraps the pith of the or the hollow tunnel of the plant, which we provide for nesting purpose, and there it will make the nest. This will lay eggs and rear the young ones. This is the female Xylocopa carpenter bee. This is the male. Both go to the flower for collecting. This is collecting nectar only, and the female collects nectar as well as pollen. Both this collects nectar as well as pollen. Two species we have in India of Xylocopa. That was the Xylocopa fenestrata, totally black, fully black. Other we have Xylocopa pubescens. Its thorax is yellow pubescens is there. This is also of the same size, almost very beautiful bee, and the same function exactly performs. Pollination, the excellent pollinator we have. This can be domesticated the same way as I did for the Xylocopa fenestrata. This is the male of this bee collecting nectar. The whole yellow color, we call teddy bear bee also. This because the fully yellow color of this bee, very beautiful. You'll see sometimes in gardens during winter season or summer season or on peas, you'll find this bee visiting the flowers. This is the bee hotel for the carpenter bee. This I already told you. We provide nesting tunnels to these bees to come there, to dwell there, to lay eggs, and to rear their young ones there, and new bees are produced. These bee hotels are utilized all over the world, and I started working on this bee in 1975, and my main work was on the solitary bees in my PhD thesis. So working for the last 50 years on these bees, and it is excellent experience to work with these bees. Very beautiful bees, very useful bees, and on any crop you go, you'll find these bees. Only you will have to make small effort. You can make this bee hotel at your residence also. Little effort you will have to make. Will go to the carpenter, and you'll get the wooden blocks, fit them, get them drilled of a particular size, because its size is around 10 millimeter. So you put these hotels in your garden or the backyard for foreyard. After sometimes I expect they'll come there and they'll nest there. This is soil nesting bee Amazilla. This is found in all in tropical climates. In India also found. Northern India also I have seen. This comes on my crops. In my backyard, I see this on tori or ghee, etc. This bee comes there. This is very fast bee. You'll see this has on the abdomen, ventral. This is this dorsal side. These rings, these are black or blue color, and you see the tongue, such a large tongue. This is she'll come so fast, sit on the flower, and immediately with the bee comes with an extended tongue, and immediately she'll suck the nectar. So fast bee, Amazilla, a beautiful bee, and soil nesting bee. So its conservation can be conservation of soil only. So in the places where we find the soil which is not cultivated, they'll make nest. In cultivated soils, it is not possible because we put so many pesticides, then plow it time and again, and that kills its larvae, etc. So uncultivated soil is most important to keep these bees. This is working on the flower. While she's working on the flower, this you see stigma projecting on the right side above of the flower. This will come down. It's a reproductive part. Actually, they come down. They touch on its back, and when she'll go to the pollen is stuck here. Then when she'll go to the other flower, the pollination will take place. This way. This is also very important pollinator. This is mason bee. These bees use mud actually for the. We provide these nesting hollow nests actually. These are the trunks, stem trunks of different plants. Like we have Ricinus communis, which you call botanist will tell its name. अरंडी अरंडी के स्टेम को हम काट के ऐसी टनल्स हम बॉक्सेस में देते हैं. We give them in the boxes, and these bees they'll nest there. Then they'll bring the nesting material. This bee particularly of yellowish color. This uses mud for the nesting purpose. This we have been able to culture these bees also. My research was on this bee also. Then this is a carpenter bee, leaf cutter bee. This uses nest from the bring nest actually, and brings leaves. This way, she's bringing leaf, then putting in the nest and making nest. They lay egg there. This another bee, Megacalcephalotus, bringing pollen on the abdomen actually. They don't bring pollen on the legs. They bring pollen on the abdomen. This yellow color is the pollen. This is the raisin bee. This is making nest. This close the nest with the raisin. This is the same raisin bee. We have been able to culture this bee also. Solitary bee pollinator, because they are monolactic or oligolactic. Those flower which need specialist pollinator, we require these bees. There are a large number of such bees, such plants, and that is why we need these bees. These are specialist pollinators. They have short foraging range. That is why their utility is more, because where they are nesting, they will pollinate very nearby. Large number of bees we have been able to culture them. These are the species I have shown, their feeding habits, etc., and their plants where they are pollinators. These are the bee hotels, different type of bee hotel we provide them for the culturing of them. These like this, they come there, they nest there, we have provided. Bee hotel of different kind, wooden material we have used. This is the bee hotel. Again, different types. Such material you can use. This is beautiful. Again, solitary bees. This is they have made nest mason bee. These are the different cells they have put there, and in these cells there are eggs and larvae. These are the nest of the carpenter bee. Actually, there again their larvae are there. We can identify which bee has made which nest. This is the nest of a carpenter bee. Leaves are there closed. They close the nest with bee leaf. This is mason bee. Two type of mason bee we have. One will make flat cap. Other will make pegged. We can identify whose nest is there. This is the nest of resin bee. You can see a different types of color is different. Domesticated honeybees as pollinators. We used true honeybees also. They as pollinators, as honey gatherer also. These boxes we use for the keeping of domesticated honeybees. Apis mellifera, I did work on this. Its domestication in hot and dry climates of India. This was the biggest. I'll show later on in 2-3 slides the success story of this beekeeping. Why this is most important? Because this is polylactic feeding habit. This goes to many types of flowers. Then most important character of this bee is a floral constancy. Once this bee visits a flower, time and again will go to the same flower, same type of flower. So we can for example, I wish to use them for pollination of thoria or say Brassica rapa. Then this bee will go to the Brassica rapa only for bringing pollen and nectar, and will pollinate to that flower. So this is the habit of the. Then mobile colonies. We can take these boxes from one place to other place for the pollination purpose. So their usefulness is more than the solitary bees. The solitary bees can be kept on a single place, but they can be moved from several places. This is how we place their colonies while we are pollinating. This is research actually over. Now, beekeeping in India, very small history I'll show you. This is, I keep with the beekeepers, visit their apiaries. On the spot, I see their problems, what is problem, and try to solve their problem on the spot actually. This is the apiary of a beekeeper. There where I visited. During the visit, I experienced sweet sting also. This one bee has stung on my eyes. And this is how we handle the colonies in right side figure. This is recently I visited the beekeeper. This is the story of Indian beekeeping. In 1978, we had Apis cerana, Indian honeybee. This had a thigh sac brood virus disease. This disease was like the corona disease. About 99% of the Indian honeybee colony died due to this disease. And our 20,000 beekeepers, they became professionless. Beekeeping in the country came to a complete halt. India became honeyless, pollination services less. And earlier two efforts, one in 1968, other in 1975, to expand European honeybee, Apis mellifera, they failed. At that time, I came into the picture. In 1982, I started European honeybee, working on a European honeybee. I studied its life processes, studied pesticides, their control. I prepared an artificial pollen substitute diet to use them for the summer months to keep the colonies alive. Then I studied the role of bees in several crops of the country. I started in 1982 annual beekeeping training. This was in collaboration with the state government. I persuaded the state government to give 50% subsidy to the farmers who come for beekeeping, and large number of beekeepers they came. This annual beekeeping training this is continuing at Haryana Agriculture University, ISAR also in every agriculture university, and even in KVIC also, KVIC centers. Now this is going on. On the basis of this, I came out with the recommendation for management of Apis mellifera under hot and dry climates of India, and I popularized these recommendations in press, electronic media, through writings, through lectures, etc. Several beekeeping trainings were organized. Several beekeepers were trained. In this way, this mellifera beekeeping reached to every corner of the country. This is from where I started first my beginning, and the last beekeeping training. Last photo. These are the trainees with me. International visitors used to come to me. This was a big attraction for the international audiences to come to my apiary and visit my apiaries. I also organized a national seminar on pollination. I became chairperson of many beekeeping conferences, invited free several times abroad, and chaired session on beekeeping. Yeah, I remained the chairperson of a high-powered committee on beekeeping constituted by the Indian Council of Agricultural Research during this was when I was a dean of College of Basic Sciences in Haryana Agricultural University. This is most important, present status of beekeeping industry in India. In early 80s, we had only 5,000 colonies. There were 100 beekeepers. There were only 500 persons dependent on beekeeper in the country. We produced 50 metric tons of honey. In 2023 data says that we have 40 lakh colonies of honeybees. We have 2 lakh beekeepers. We have 10 lakh persons directly dependent on beekeeping. We have 1,60,000 metric ton of honey produced. We are 8th in the world now. Total pollination services beekeeping is providing now 2.5 lakh hectare in the country, and many beekeeping ventures have started since then. Annual return to the GDP is about 1,200 billion rupees. These are the award I received. This is Manmohan Singh ji giving a trophy to me. Then the Agriculture Minister of India giving national award. This was one of the highest national award in agriculture. Then Governor of Haryana felicitating me with a trophy. Then Chief Minister of Haryana felicitating me with a certificate of excellence. Then the Speaker of Karnataka Vidhana Sabha giving a trophy. This is the in the international conference I was felicitated by Scroll of Honor. And this is the citation already you have studied. This is the award Government of India. I expected long back, perhaps in 2005, but government gave me in 2024. I'm happy still. They have at least recognized my work. This is first in beekeeping in the country, first scientist in Haryana on beekeeping. And the Prime Minister, I will appreciate. In every talk, he talks about beekeeping. When he is talking about agriculture, he talks about beekeeping. That has made a great impact on the expansion of beekeeping, and a surge has come. Now we are in a era of sweet revolution. Government has introduced a scheme, National Honey Mission, and sweet revolution is the motto of the government. I'm thankful to the organizer. They have given me such a long time and tolerated my talk. I don't know whether this is useful, but only one thing I'll tell, 1 minute. This is for a person, for the young persons actually. If you work, you can work on any aspect. This will need continuity, this will need devotion, this will need dedication, only then you can achieve success. Otherwise, it is not possible. You will have to be tolerant for a very long time, but while you are working, success will certainly come, I think. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We extend our profound gratitude to you for an illuminating session on the conservation of bee diversity and its vital role in sustaining floral ecosystems. Your words have not only informed but inspired, leaving behind a trail of thoughts that will echo long after this moment has passed. Now, I open the forum to this esteemed audience for questions and answers. Should you have any questions, reflections, or thought you would like to share, we warmly welcome your engagement. Over to the panelists. Any questions from the panelists?
I think,
Dr. Chavi Tiwari?
yes, you see, talk was so comprehensive and presented in a very simple manner that things that Professor Sohag mentioned are very clear. Yes, but still, if there are questions, we should come forward. Yes, Chavi? Is Chavi in the panelist or she has put it in the chat box?
Sir, she has put the question on WhatsApp. Actually, due to some technical error, she was not able to join.
Read out the question.
Yes, sir. Dr. Chavi Tiwari has raised the question that can we keep Apis florea in less flower growing places for production of honey, and what will be the alternate of flower?
We keep Apis florea during the winter season actually. And at that time, flowering is on brassica plants. At that time, it is easy to keep this bee because when the temperature will increase, the colony will abscond. Abscond means this will leave the comb, and that is the best time. Nectar is available in abundance, and honey will come from the single source, that is the brassica source.
Thank you, sir. Any more questions from the audience? Sir, there is a question from a participant, Rishikesh. When India will host
Hello.
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 When India will host Epimondia?
Epimondia is for the beekeepers actually, and the beekeeper, they can suggest there. They can offer, only then they'll consider about this. I not been to Epimondia. I didn't get fund actually.
Thank you, sir. May I raise a question with the due permission from the panelists and audience and the speaker, please? Sir, is there any way to enhance the speed or the frequency of pollination from the bees by using some inducers or some types of chemicals or stimulators?
There were some attractants. Earlier, people used, for example, 5% sugar solution they used. They sprayed on the crop, and the bees, they immediately came there. And once there in pollination, there are two things. One, bees, they should come first. They fix there. First, when they identify the crop, then floral constancy will bring them to the same crop. So, like sugar is one attractant. I worked on repellents actually, well, not attractants.
Any more questions from the panelists? Shall we proceed further? Once again, with heartfelt appreciation, we extend our deepest thanks to our esteemed Chief Guest Padma Shri R.C. Sihag, beekeeping and pollination scientist and former Dean Haryana Agricultural University, for an enlightening and profoundly impactful session. Your eloquence and depth of insight have left an indelible impression upon us. As we near the close of this memorable gathering, it is time to express our heartfelt gratitude. With great respect and admiration, I now invite the guiding force behind this institution's vision, Sri Kamal Narayanji Buradia, Honorary Secretary, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Trust, to deliver the words of thanks that echo our collective appreciation. Over to you, sir. Sir, please unmute yourself. सर आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है, आप अनम्यूट कीजिए। सर अनम्यूट कीजिए
देखिए,
माइक।
आवाज नहीं आ रही।
सर आपका माइक ऑफ है। सर नीचे लेफ्ट में एक बटन है।
स्पीकर
जी
या, आ रही, फिर म्यूट हो गया शायद। बीच में आने लगी थी, फिर म्यूट हो गया। जी, आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है।
सर ये पावर पॉइंट प्रेजेंटेशन होती तो और अच्छे होता।
हो गया? हाँ जी, वो पोती से करवाया।
सर आ रही है आवाज।
अब आवाज आ रही है, प्लीज।
हाँ, पोती से करवाया अभी।
अच्छा।
हमारे आज के कार्यक्रम के मुख्य अतिथि माननीय पद्मश्री R.C. सिहागा साहब, श्री वैष्णव विद्यापीठ विश्वविद्यालय के हेलो, वैष्णव विद्यापीठ,
जी सर आवाज आ रही है।
हाँ, वैष्णव विद्यापीठ विश्वविद्यालय के, उनको स्क्रीन पर कर दीजिए सर को, सिहाग साहब को। कुलाधिपति श्री पसारी जी, कुलपति डॉक्टर उपेंद्र धर जी, कार्यक्रम संयोजक श्री उत्तम जी शर्मा, डॉक्टर उत्तम शर्मा, सेंटर ऑफ एक्सीलेंस सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट के चेयरपर्सन डॉक्टर संतोष धर, विश्वविद्यालय के डायरेक्टर्स, HOD, फैकल्टीज, स्टाफ मेंबर्स, आमंत्रित अतिथिगण। आप उनको सर, इनको स्क्रीन पर कर दें सर को, सिहाग साहब को। आज ये हमारे लिए अत्यंत गौरव एवं सौभाग्य का दिन है कि आज प्रोफेसर पद्मश्री R.C. सिहाग, बी कीपिंग एंड पोलिनेशन साइंटिस्ट, हिसार हरियाणा, आज के सुंदरलाल बहुगुणा मेमोरियल ऑरेशन के प्रोग्राम के मुख्य अतिथि के रूप में आज हमारे बीच उपस्थित हैं। डॉक्टर R.C. सिहाग का जीवन हम सभी के लिए प्रेरणादायी पुस्तक के समान है। आज हमें उनके ज्ञान का लाभ सहज रूप से प्राप्त हुआ है। सर, निश्चय ही आपके बहुआयामी व्यक्तित्व के प्रकाश में हम अभिभूत हैं। श्री वैष्णव विद्यापीठ विश्वविद्यालय परिवार इस अवसर पर आपका आभार व्यक्त करता है। निश्चय ही बी कीपिंग और मधुमक्खी पालन में आपके रिसर्च से संपूर्ण देश को इस क्षेत्र में अभूतपूर्व सफलता मिली है एवं हजारों लोगों को इससे रोजगार मिला है। और इससे हमारे शहद के निर्यात में भी काफी वृद्धि हुई है। मैं आपके लिए यही कहूंगा कि मिलते हैं मिन्नतों से ऐसे मेहमा कभी कभी, हो जाती है किस्मतें यूं मेहरमा कभी कभी। मिलती है किसी से प्रेरणा यूं कभी कभी, हो जाती है किस्मतें यूं मेहरमा कभी कभी। सर, आज आपका जो उद्बोधन आया वो वास्तव में बहुत ही प्रेरणादायी था। मैं बहुत उससे अभिभूत हूँ, हम सभी इससे बहुत अभिभूत हुए हैं। मैं आज इस अवसर पर कुलाधिपति श्री पसारी जी, कुलपति डॉक्टर उपेंद्र धर, डॉक्टर संतोष धर, डॉक्टर उत्तम शर्मा एवं उनकी समस्त टीम का भी इस अवसर पर आभार व्यक्त करता हूं और इस ऑनलाइन सेमिनार में उपस्थित सभी बंधुओं का आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। मैं पुनः पद्मश्री RC सियाग का आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। हम चाहते हैं कि सर आप इस विश्वविद्यालय में प्रत्यक्ष रूप से उपस्थित हों। इंदौर, जिसको कि पूरे देश में 7वीं बार स्वच्छता का प्रथम पुरस्कार प्राप्त हुआ है, साथ ही पर्यावरण के क्षेत्र में भी इंदौर काफी कार्य कर रहा है। हमारे विश्वविद्यालय में एग्रीकल्चर ब्रांच भी है। विश्वविद्यालय के आसपास काफी कृषि क्षेत्र एवं किसान हैं। हम चाहते हैं कि आपके नेतृत्व में मधुमक्खी, विशेषकर मधुमक्खी पालन हेतु एक वर्कशॉप हो, जिसमें हम हमारे एग्रीकल्चर छात्रों को एवं एग्रीकल्चर ब्रांच के छात्रों को एवं आसपास के कृषकों को भी आमंत्रित करें, ताकि उनके अनुभव का लाभ सबको प्राप्त हो सके। जैसे आदरणीय मोदी जी तो हमेशा ही बी कीपिंग और रेशम के कीड़ों के लिए हमेशा ही आगे आते हैं और हमेशा हर भाषण में उनका जब भी कृषि के संबंध भाषण होता है तो हमेशा इस चीज को बहुत आगे बढ़ाते हैं। और वास्तव में ये ऐसी चीज है कि जिससे हम किसी प्रकार हर चीज को, और बल्कि पर्यावरण का इससे सुधार भी होता है और हमको एक काफी हर चीज का प्रोडक्शन मिलता है। आशा है आप हमारे इस निवेदन को स्वीकार करेंगे और भविष्य में आपका हमको मार्गदर्शन मिलेगा। हमारा विश्वविद्यालय ये मंगल कामना करता है कि आप स्वस्थ रहें, शतायु रहें। सर, आप तो देश की धरोहर हैं। आप मधुमक्खी पालन एवं वन क्षेत्रों में नित्य नए रिसर्च करते रहें, उसी तरह देश और समाज की सेवा करते रहें। आपका इकबाल और बुलंद हो और आपको और भी कई अवार्डों से नवाजा जाए। इन्हीं शुभकामनाओं के साथ हम आपका बहुत बहुत आभार व्यक्त करते हैं। पुनः सभी को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और आपका पुनः आपसे निवेदन है कि सर एक बार आप अवश्य थोड़ा समय निकाल कर हमारे बीच आए तो हमको बहुत अच्छा लगेगा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जय वैष्णव, जय हिंद। थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you, sir. As we stand united in pride and patriotism, let us now rise to honor our motherland, a melody that echoes the spirit of our great nation and binds every heart in a single rhythm of unity. The national anthem. Dear all, please rise.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा। विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा। तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मांगे। गाहे तव जय गाथा, जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे, जय हे, जय हे, जय 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 हे।
Bharat Mata ki jai. Thank you, everyone, and have a sustainable day ahead.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका। So we can close the meeting now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
everyone.
Thank you.